Let me know when you want to share. All
After we
right,
let's talk first and then we share what we're going to be talking about. We need an intro.
we're live.
Are
We
we?
are live.
I thought the countdown happened first and then you go live. Oh, there you go. Let's go. Now we are live. Or were we live 30 seconds ago?
Now the countdown is happening. Let me see. Boom. I think the if you're looking at your social medias, it's a little behind lagging. So we are officially live.
Yeah, it's happening now. The countdown is happening now. And I don't like the countdown. My brain moves too fast for countdowns. I need things to happen
We are
quickly.
live. 100% right now live. So this is our first episode of going live, ladies and gentlemen, Smart Money Deals. Today we're going to be showing you a deal we just made $35,000 on without buying it, without credit, without swinging a hammer. We're going to show you where we got it from, how we got it. And every Thursday, starting at 3 p.m., we were setting up the technical side of the studio. But every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, you can find us here on our YouTubes, our Instagrams, our LinkedIns. We will be doing live smart money deals, showing you guys the deals that we've made money on, even deals that we've had challenges on, so that you guys can learn how we were able to get them and all the different ways we made money. That's the purpose of going live. It's a little bit of reality TV with some smart money analysis of did we make money on the deal or not. I'm obviously here with my partner in crime, Miss Ivelis, Miss Liz, whenever we talk to the Midwest, because nobody can say Ivelis in the Midwest.
We should have that sound that goes bam 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 when you make money. You have it, the little button that goes bam 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 bam. What's up, guys? I'm here today. So we wanted to just share with you guys kind of the ins and out of a real estate investment business, the different types of deals that we do. Something that's unique for us is we do all types of deals. We flip contracts, we do novations, we do creative deals, we fix and flip, we have Airbnb. So I think it's cool to share with you guys just real deals, like deals that we're doing actively. We're going back, and as deals are coming in and deals from the past that we think there's a valuable lesson that we can share with you guys. That's the idea. We're going to share deals with you guys, break down how much money we made, what happened, and also just keep it real, because I think there's a lot of people right now talking about like, oh, I made all this money, but they're not really sharing what happened, right? What were the challenges that we had to overcome to get to the closing table? Because part of this business of being a real estate investor is about overcoming just the mud, the stuff that gets thrown at you. And that's what makes you good at real estate investing. You can work through challenges and close and get deals to the finish line. And I'm here with Kevin, my non-bearded partner. I almost didn't recognize him when I saw him on the thing. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Who are you? What's going on?
Taking it back to 1999, when I was, a young whippersnapper out here in these streets.
Listen, men don't need Botox. All that men need to do is just shave their beard and they go back 15 years. You look like a child right now.
The funny part is I went to trim today and I forgot to put the clip on the electric razor, and then I went right down the middle. And I was like, oh, there's no trimming today. Today we're going to take it back to the old school. So, flash, what is it? Flashback lives.
All
Throwback.
right,
It is Throwback Thursday, so I figured I would come back with the throwback baby face.
all right, let's get into talking about real estate investing. So, for those of you that haven't seen my stuff, I mean, if you're seeing this, it's because you've seen my stuff. But if you don't know me, I'm a real estate agent, real estate investor, closer, all the things. In our business, we do a mix of all different types of deals. We have buy and hold properties, we fix and flip, we wholesale. I am a licensed real estate agent. We list properties, we help people in residential transactions. So, we have a pretty robust business. We do all kinds of deals. We're going to break down for you guys the sexy ones that people want to talk about, the ones where we made the big bucks, and also break down the process for you guys. Do you want to get the party started?
Yeah. So this one, share your screen again, and I'll put it in. This one, we flipped the contract. We'll tell you guys what that means and what it looks like. But other weeks, we'll show one that we have Airbnb, or another one that we actually did a fix and flip, or another one that we bought creatively, seller finance. We have a deal in New Orleans that we have 0% interest rate, and it is turnkey with a tenant that we got in place. Like all these deals, we're going to show you guys week after week on the different ways to make money, how we raise capital to buy these deals without any of our own money, how we don't use credit. All of that is coming to you guys on these lives as well. So let me plug you in here. Let me know. There you go.
Let me make I don't know how big this is. All right, guys. So this is a deal in Miramar. It is a transaction, like a wholesale deal, as Kevin likes to call it, flipping contracts. We actually got this contract from one of our joint venture partners. If you have an opportunity and you don't know how to get it to the finish line, how to negotiate it, you need somebody that has the experience to come in and help you get that done. That's what we're here to do. So this actually came from our JV partner, Daniel. He's one of the agents in our network. He started doing conversations and doing cash offer cold calls. He came across a lead and he's like, hey guys, can you help me close it? He sent it over to us. And let's look at the HUD for the non-believers. Let's look at the HUD for the non-believers. Where's it at? 35,000 assignments. Let's go. I don't know how much I can zoom on this, but here it is, 35,000 assignment, 2. Now, if we, let me make it that. Now, let's break down the deal, right? How we got it, what happened, what the process looked like, and what were some of the roadblocks that we had to overcome to get this deal to the finish line. Because I think that's the juicy stuff. So why would someone sell their property for less than market value? Well, this person specifically, the seller, she was in a position where she needed to move quickly to another state with her family members. She was older. The property needed a ton of work. She didn't have the money to do it. She had started doing some stuff and then just kind of gave up on the process. And for her, speed was really important. She mentioned many, many times she just wanted to close quickly. She didn't want to list the property. She didn't want to go through that process. Daniel brought us a deal. We were actually heading to New Orleans. I was at the airport with my boyfriend, well, now fiance. I forget that I'm a fiance now. And Daniel did a 3-way call with me, with the seller. I walked her through the process. We negotiated. We got the deal locked up. At the airport, as we were about to leave to go to New Orleans to go check out another property that we were buying. And all of this happened like on the phone, right? We never went and saw the property before we locked it up. Went through my whole process, negotiated. Kevin was coming in to meet with us. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I'm locking up a deal. It's business time. And
no, that's not how it went down. I showed up to the airport. You guys had already checked in. You were waiting at the terminal to get on the plane. We were flying to New Orleans on that deal that we picked up creatively at 0% interest rate to go see it for the first time because we just closed it. As I start to walk up, I'm at least a good 50 yards away from where you and your fiance are sitting, and you're on the phone with your laptop on your lap, super intense. And I already recognize that face. I'm like, all right, she's probably talking to somebody. And then I come in about, don't. And I'm like, I haven't even, I didn't even say a word to you, but that is, we properties got locked up and you just locked the phone without having to go see it. So that was our celebration right there. But go ahead, continue.
We may have lost some of that with your internet connection, but to summarize, for those of you that missed it, is I think you walked in. As I was negotiating, and I was like, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I got to get this done. So I share this with you guys, not to, kind of hype myself up, even though every now and then it's not that bad to hype yourself up. To share this, that on the phone, it was a conversation on the phone. I went through my process. I did everything. It was like a 20-minute phone call and we got a contract signed on the phone. That's why we love doing these types of deals. We do these deals virtually. We lock them up on the phone. Even though this is a deal that's local, that's in Miramar, our local market, we do everything virtually. And then we have a process after we get the property under contract. We go see it, we take pictures, and I'll tell you guys what that process looks like. So how did we get the deal in the first place? So Daniel actually our joint venture partner has a cold caller that cold calls for him. He was doing circle prospecting because he's a real estate agent, and he was having his team call around the neighborhood to see if anybody wanted to buy or sell. We gave him the strategy like, hey, you need to be doing cash offers. He switched it up and he started getting these motivated sellers and these leads. So it was from switching up his marketing and just his mindset when it comes to this type of opportunities, because he was a high producing agent, calling expireds, FISBOs, doing the whole thing. And then as soon as he switched, he started getting opportunities. So I want to show you guys the numbers. Let me see. I don't know how big this is going to show, but I'm going to share.
You gotta share again. You don't have, whenever you want to not share, just tell me and I'll take it off the screen. Because every time you close it out, it completely takes it out of the studio.
Oh, nice. Okay, guys, we're learning tech. We're learning the tech behind this. Okay, let's look at it. So our process as far as how we run numbers on properties, just to kind of show our process. Now, let me make it a little bit bigger. So these are our, right here. These are our direct notes from our team of how we run numbers on property. So, you know, she said she had gotten an offer for 355. She wants 385. So we got it locked up at 380. And this is how we run numbers on properties. We look at what's the lowest closed sale in the neighborhood. We look at second lowest closed sale.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because as of right now, I'm just looking at the notes. I don't see any of the numbers.
Oh, let me switch it up. Let me share this tab instead. There you go.
There you go.
Perfect. So I want to show you guys kind of like how we look at things. So for me on the acquisition side as a closer, I want to know the lowest cash sales because that's what I'm going to use to negotiate and anchor the seller's expectation on like what a realistic cash offer is. Kevin runs numbers on our team, or if I'm on the phone and it's a one call close where I got to get it done, I run numbers on the call and I look at cash sales, what the lowest cash sales are, and I look at the highest closed sale similar to that property. So we determine what we call our ARV, which is after repair value. After repair value, what the property is worth fixed up. Once we have our after repair value, then we can do numbers based on what the seller told us as far as the property condition. But we make it simple. We don't go in and, you know, do exact estimates because we want to move through efficiency with these deals. So for us, a safe number that we always put in, if it's a property that's around like 1,300, I don't know, up to 1,500 square feet, is 50,000. That's like our average number. Obviously, if the seller is telling us the property's in, you know, horrible disrepair and we got to do the roof, the AC, we're going to increase that. But an easy, safe number that we like to put is like around 50,000. So now that we know what our after repair value, this is our handy dandy calculator. So I know, Kev,
By the way, hold on. Actually, when you say it, if you guys want, take a screenshot, the QR code here in the middle. If you guys want access to this calculator for free, if you want access to a free training on how to use all of this and how we lock up deals, in fact, the exact framework on how we negotiated the script on how we locked up this deal and made $35,000 on it without buying it, without our own credit, scan the QR code and you can go ahead and put your name, email, and phone number, and my team will send you all these free training and resources just for supporting our new venture this year on the lives.
We're going live. So this is how we run numbers. I know with the internet, there's a lot of information about the 70% of ARV and like all this good stuff. That's a good rule, right? Rules are good, like anything, but it doesn't always work 100% of the time. So as you get more experience and run numbers, you realize that that formula works in certain situations, but in certain situations it doesn't. Like, for example, this is a hot area for fix and flip. So we know that, you know, even if that formula isn't 100%, we're still going to be able to move the deal if it's at a good price because we know that there's a lot of investors in that area. So like on this one, based on the notes that we had, the ARV, like the most that the property can sell for fixed up, is we had 575. So I'm going to start with the end in mind, 575. Based on the notes, it property did need repairs. This one was probably closer to like 70,000. On this one, I believe the roof needed to be updated. There was a pool. There was a lot more work that needed to be done on this property specifically. So let's say 575 is what the property could sell for. The investor that's going to come in and buy it, or we, if it was a property that we were going to keep ourselves, let's say we're spending around 70,000. So after repair value, repairs, 70,000, and we always put in for closing costs 8%. So what is that? 6% for commissions, right? Because we got agents. And then we've got closing costs, right? What's closing costs? Like cost for insurance, title costs, all of that. We always
and it's closing when you buy the property as an investor, if you were, and then closing costs if you sell it, right? If you're fixing and flipping, you're buying it, you got to pay closing costs. Then you turn around once you have it renovated and you sell it, you have closing costs there. So the realtor commissions are on the selling side, right? Once you have it done and you put it out on the market, if you're selling it, a buyer's agent brings you a buyer, you typically offer them a commission, and it depends if you're an agent or not, whether you're going to pay a listing commission as well for the person who's helping you list the property. If you're refinancing it and you're going to keep it, then obviously that's a little bit of a different number.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, because obviously on the front end, it's a cash deal, it's a direct deal. So we're not paying commissions per se, but we have to think like with the end in mind, right? When we fix up the property, we're going to have to pay commission. So we put that up front as part of our cost because we're going to have to pay it, not now, but sometime down the future. If there's another investor that's going to come in and take over this deal, most of them are going to go through the same process and have an agent. So in reality, to buy this deal, we're really only spending like 2%, right? Or 1.5%. But since we know that there's going to be a resale, someone's going to come in, fix it up and resell it, we almost have to put those costs already up front and account for that. Because the end buyer, or us as fix and flippers, that's a cost that we're going to have. So once we have the closing costs there, 8% is a fair number. If you are going to be using hard money, like private money, all this bottom section here, which we're not going to get into right now, but this is if you're using private money loan, then you got to put in all your costs, or a hard money lender. So just for the purpose of this exercise, we will have fix and flips that will break down for you guys that financing was used. In this one, we don't have to worry about financing because we're not going to go ahead and buy this property ourselves. So this is how I always start my numbers. Once I've got repairs, ARV, and closing costs, I'm going to look at profit margin, right? How much money would we want to make on this deal, or would an end buyer like this fix and flipper want to make on this deal? 30% is a great number. Any deal that you've got a 30% profit margin, lock this up yourself, fix and flip it. Like, don't even think about it. There's so much room here to be made. This is like, over 6 figures flipped on this. But when it changes is when you're having the conversations with the sellers and negotiating, you have to understand not every seller is going to take this offer, right? That's why that 70% formula, like that doesn't work 100% of the time. So if we would have been stuck at 286, we're not moving up, and this is all that we can pay, we would have not got this deal. So I know if 30% isn't what I can get, I'm going to start to see, well, let me go down. Like, let's say, we don't make 172,000, but we make still 6 figures at 115. It's still a deal. It could potentially work. Okay. So this would also be a number that I would feel comfortable with because there's still room here. So here we've got 6 figures. So in that 6 figures, we've got money for us, the person that brought the deal to the table, and for the investor that's keeping the deal. So there's enough room here. So if you saw, we got this contract for 380. So even at these numbers, the seller was still like, no, I've got other offers. This is a competitive area in Miami where there's a lot of people looking at property. So we're like, man, it's not going to work at these numbers. What do I need to do to make this deal work? So we go down to 15%. So here our max offers 372, right? Okay, so we're getting close to what the seller wants. The seller wanted 385. We got it for 380. So here we've got 86,000 to play with, right? So we've got room. There's still money here to be made for the end buyer, for us, and for everybody. So we actually ended up locking up this deal closer to these numbers. Let me see.
And again, this is us when we're running numbers. We're assuming a buyer's going to spend 70,000 in repairs or 50,000 in repairs. The truth is, Bob the builder with his primo Tony and his uncle John, they can do this deal for 40,000 in repairs. So even though we do like a rough estimate of repairs, 50,000, 40,000, 70,000, depending on what the seller's telling us, we can't assume who we're going to flip the contract to is going to have that same cost. They might have the hookup, they might do the work themselves, or they might not, right? So in these cases, when we're doing rough numbers, as long as we're in the ballpark, we're like, we might have someone that's interested in this that we could flip this contract to instead of buying it ourselves and flipping the actual house. That's the difference. In this case, we were analyzing numbers thinking, do we buy it ourselves or do we get it at a good enough price and flip the contract to someone who wants to buy it and fix it and either sell it or keep it?
Yeah. So it's with experience you learn that nothing is black and white, right? If you're trying to do business based off a formula, it's not going to work. And it's like that with any business, right? You can't do the same thing with everybody. It doesn't work. So you got to be flexible. You got to, like, at these numbers. So let's say the person, like what Kevin was saying, repair estimates vary because you've got the handymen that do the work themselves. For us, because we have to hire it out, it's going to cost us 60,000 to do a job. But for someone that has their cousin and, their cousin's cousin to do the work, they can do. I've seen somebody do a renovation for 20,000 that would have cost us 60,000, just because you don't have the labor costs and it's cheaper for them to do it. So these are, let's say they spend 50,000, there's 97,000 in profit. So there's money for them, there's money for us, there's money for everybody. So in this scenario, we don't know yet how much money they made. Have they finished flipping it yet? We don't have that information yet because this was something that happened last year, not that long ago. So let's say in this scenario, 97,000, we made 35 and they ended up, let's say, making, let me do it over here. We made 35.
Guys, for those of you on IG, if you're commenting IG, for some reason, those are not showing up. But if you go to our YouTube channels, if you comment on there, the comments will show up. We can answer questions on Facebook. The comments do show up as well on our Facebook pages. On Instagram, for some reason, it's not showing the comments. So if you guys are posting, but this will be recorded and uploaded automatically to our Facebook pages, our Instagrams, and our YouTubes.
Yeah. Oh, that stinks. We can't see people on the gram. Sorry guys, we can't see you, but here we are. So yeah, just to give you guys a breakdown of this deal. So let's say this fix and flipper is going to make 62,000 on this deal. We're making 35. It's a win-win. And at the end of the day, the seller got exactly what they wanted, because in this situation, and this is kind of like reframing people's mindset and beliefs around, why someone would sell and do a deal like this. For her, convenience, speed was more important. Because if she wanted to go ahead and sell this property on the market herself, she would have had to go ahead and fix it, put it on the market with an agent. She needed to get to where her family members were and relocate. And that was more important for her in this situation. So that was the most important thing. The money wasn't the most important thing. And I know for a lot of people, it's like, wow, it's always about the money. They want a lot of money. For some people, it is, right? If they've got the time to wait, they don't care. They can fix it up themselves and go through all of that. Like, that's fine. But in this situation, it didn't make sense for her. Now let's talk about, and just to tell you guys, this 35,000, we have partners and people that we partner with. We had one of our partners made $11,000. He just brought us the deal and we negotiated it. We found the buyer. We handled all the challenges through the transaction and he made an easy $11,000. So if right now you are like, hey, I don't know how to get my first deal, just know that there's people that can come in and help you get that first deal locked up. He made $11,000 with us just by bringing us this deal. And we handled everything, the negotiations from the airport, on the phone, getting deals locked up. And we had another partner that also brought us the buyer on this deal. So we had multiple partners on this deal. This business, real estate investing, is all about partnerships, connections. So we had someone that brought us the buyer. We helped them with the process from beginning to end. We locked up the deal. So everybody won. It was one of those situations where everybody made money and it's a win-win for everybody. Hey, Rashid. Yeah, this is going to be saved on our YouTube channel. If you're not following me on YouTube, my YouTube channel is the same handle as I have here on Instagram. It's my first name, Idalis_real estate. So subscribe there. We're going to be doing a lot more of these live seller calls, live role plays, whatever you guys want, whatever is needed for you guys to get going and start doing deals 2026. It's a new year energy. All right, let's talk about, we talked about the good stuff, which is how we made money, how we locked up the deal, how everybody won. But let's talk about some of the challenges that we had on this deal. So we got the property under contract, I believe. We got it under contract and then we found a buyer, I think 3 days later. So it was a process of locking it up, putting it on their contract, and we started the process. Since these are properties that a lot of times are, the sellers are behind on their taxes, they need repairs. There's a lot of things that come up in the process. So common things that happen in challenges or liens that come up. A lien is any money that's owed to the city for something. First, there's a violation, right? Let's say, you've got there's disrepair in the exterior part of your house. The city drives by and says, hey, you need to clean that up. It's a violation. They give you time to fix it. A lot of homeowners don't fix it. They don't fix it. They don't fix it. Time passes. Then it becomes a lien. Now there's money attached to it. Now, in order for you to sell your house, you've got to pay the city that money. That's something that happens a lot of times. Permits that were open and weren't closed, right? Anytime you open a permit, you got to close it. So you have to go through that process, and that requires a lot of times inspections, having the city go. So it's a process, right? There's title issues, right? We buy a lot of properties that are probates. So sometimes you've got family members coming out of the woodworks. And then we have one right now, actually, that we're going to break down for you guys once we actually finish closing the deal. We've been trying to close that deal for almost 2 years now. We got the property. There's 10 heirs involved. One of them is homeless. Like, stuff like that, right? That's what makes these deals juicy, because we overcome so many hurdles through the process. So on this one, there was an expired permit. So we found a buyer really quickly. We wanted to get this done in like 24 days, but then there was an expired permit. So then I think it was for was it like a back?
It was the patio enclosure over the pool. Those screen patios that they put over the pool.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I don't even remember, guys. To be honest, like I was like trying to remember this deal to break it down for you guys. But we have a team that handles like the transaction coordination. So they like bring me in the loop when they need me. On this one, basically, it's either we decide to close with the expired permit, or we try to fix it and then close. And it depends, because sometimes there's some investors that are like, you know what, I don't care. I know how to deal with expired permits. I can handle it myself. And we could have closed in 30 days. In this instance, the buyer was like a little cautious. He's like, no, I want you guys to close out the permit first. It like depends on the level of experience of the person. I found, I don't know, Kev, if you have the same opinion, but like GCs, for example, like general contractors, they've got the skills to be able to handle like permits, lien violations. Like they'll take anything on. They're like, I'm going to do it. But when you've got these investors that are like newer, that are starting out, or maybe they got burned in the past and bought a property with an expired permit, and then it turned into a whole thing, they're a little bit more hesitant. So the seller went through the process actually of closing out the expired permit. So we had like both options. We either close with it, buyer said no. The other option was to close it, and then we extended the closing, and we ended up having to extend it like an extra 60 days. The seller thankfully was super proactive. She was going to the city. A lot of times you have sellers that aren't, right? We're like, no matter what. So we come in and we call the city and we get everything done. And we've done that a lot of times, because like your job is to get the deal to the finish line. So if the seller's not doing what they need to do, you still got to do what you need to do and get it to the finish line. So the seller was super cooperative. We had inspections from the city, and then it was eventually closed out. But things like that, even though right now looking back, it seems very like not a big deal, just an expired permit. In that moment, in real estate, a lot of times there's like urgency behind everything, and then everyone starts to freak out. For example, if the buyer has his contractor team ready to go and he needs to close on this property by the end of the month, and now we've got this expired permit, now he's in his feelings because his team is ready and we can't close. What if the seller needs the money by a certain day? So like all these little things that in the moment, right now, looking back, I'm like, but in that moment, it's like, man, we can't close. What do we have to do? And like making sure that everyone stays on board, because your job is also like, it's kind of like therapy sometimes. Like you got to keep both sides like, you're good. Are you okay? How are you feeling today? No, we're going to get this done. It's almost like forward momentum and making sure everybody's positive and feels good. And then on the seller side, don't worry, we got this. We're going to handle this. It's just an expired permit. Let's do it together. So there's a lot of like therapy that happens in real estate transactions.
We got Chandra
in
Patterson.
the house. You're my favorite peeps too. What's up?
The recap to this, guys, and we appreciate you spending time with us. This deal came because we weren't scared to talk to somebody. We showed an agent that there is different ways to make money in this business. We networked with them. We understood that the efforts that we put in our marketing and sales gets multiplied, the more people that know that we buy properties creatively, we buy properties cash. We just don't list properties as an agent. We're not just mortgage brokers or realtors. We are real estate investors and professionals. We can take a deal and either keep it for ourselves, or we have somebody in our network that likes these kind of deals. So everybody that we meet, we educate them that we're a buyer. We want them to put us in their phone as an investor, buyer, private lender, and then they call us anytime they have something that's funky, that has permits on it, is, not financeable, anything that they feel might be an opportunity or just a sweet deal. The seller wants a bottom line number and they know that there's, you know, money to be made on it. Call us on those deals, and then we lock it up. We negotiate it. We've locked up a ton of these deals, and you still get paid by sending it to us. So we paid our JV partner $11,000 on this deal, who brought us the deal. We paid our other partner who brought the buyer into the deal $3,500. So we're not greedy. The deal made $35,000, and from there we took care of the people who took care of us, and that keeps it going. Sure, we do direct mail, cold calling, Facebook to get opportunities, Facebook marketing to get opportunities, but a lot of our great opportunities come from people just like you, who are on these lives or who come to our Zoom coaching programs, and they learn all the different ways there is to make money, and then that you guys are interested in, that you guys are interested in, and they keep you scripts for free. The calculator that we just showed you guys completely for free. Just scan the QR code and we'll take your information and text you all the free resources as well.
Yeah. So I think we had a little bit of connection issues, so maybe it was on my end, Kev. But just to kind of recap on that one, on that deal specifically, we paid our JV partner 7,000, and we paid the other partner 11,000. So imagine, we made money, they made money, so it was a win-win for everybody. So guys, this business is all about collaboration. So when I talk to people that have never done a real estate investment deal, or agents that are stuck in like the, when's the next deal kind of situation, and it becomes a rat race, all you need to do is take that first step, is what we're trying to tell you. Because our JV partner, he didn't know what he was doing, right? He just got a lead that wanted a cash offer. He brought it to us, we negotiated, we got it to the finish line, and he got paid. Imagine making $11,000 by just bringing an opportunity to somebody. It's that easy. Because a lot of people get stuck in like analysis paralysis of like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. Bring us an opportunity that's ready to close, and we'll close it for you. That's all you need to do. And that's how you're going to make your first check and like make things easier for yourself. We love to partner with people. We love to collaborate. We have a community where we teach people to start doing these types of deals, whether you're an agent or a new investor, it doesn't matter. We want to help you and start helping you close deals and teach you the game so you can get real wealth and real financial freedom going into 2026. Let's go. There's a cute little QR code with a little ducky that you guys can scan. I like that duck. If you want to book a call with our team and join our community, we have some really good resources. We have free scripts that we can give you, deal analyzer calculators, and then you get to see my beautiful face. Kevin's not so beautiful, but my beautiful face every single week. And we get, he hurt his feelings over there. And we get into everything, guys. We break conversations down, we role play, we analyze deals, like anything and anything that you're going to need to succeed, we provide it for you. You know what I forgot to do, Kev? I forgot to show the pictures. Is it too late to show the pictures of the house?
You can share your screen real quick. So for those of you sticking around these last 2 minutes, let's show you guys the condition of some of these deals, because a lot of people think that the deals need to be horrendous, that they need to be completely beat up, and not always the case. Like, some of these are livable, some of them are not. Most of them are just clean up, paint, and fix. This obviously is a new bathroom that needs to be happening in here. But
A new
we've done
bathroom,
deals
or
where
a bathroom from the 70s? What was the era where they started putting pink bathrooms and pink kitchens? I see that a lot here in South Florida. It's like the pink everywhere. I think it was the 70s. Wasn't the 70s like groovy, where everything was colorful? I wasn't alive back then, so I don't know. Were you, Kev? I just like to mess with him, guys. It's all in good fun. We've been in each other's lives doing business for 10 years. So, like, by this time, I just like to mess with him.
This right
Yeah.
here, guys, is not one of the worst type of properties we've done deals with. In fact, it's just mostly crowded and outdated. It's
Yeah.
not, we've gone into places where it's mold, roaches, rats, holes in the wall, wires. Like this right here, when we have bought so many of these deals, is not scary to us at all. Most of it is just clear out, clean up, and then just give it a makeover.
Yeah. So this is it. I just wanted to show you guys the pictures. I mean, I've seen it all. We sold a house that there was literally a hole in the middle of the house. And I was like, I don't know if we're going to sell that house. Like, who's going to buy that house with a hole? And a guy that wanted to own the house in the neighborhood, he was an investor, but he liked that neighborhood because his family lived by and he wanted to own a house there. He bought the house with the hole and everything. So it's like, there's always a buyer for everything. So, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to be here every single week on Thursday. We're going to go live. We're going to break down deals. Hopefully we can answer questions so we can get all the comments and everything set up. YouTube is the best place to jump in and ask questions because YouTube shows us everything. So jump over on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I share with you guys deals that we're doing, objections, sales, mindset, all good stuff to get you guys on the right path to investing. I'll see you guys next week. See you Thursdays at 3 Eastern. Eastern, for those of you that are on, on the West Coast, we are 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, Kev. He left. He left me alone in the thing.